Thinking about remodeling your bathroom, but not sure what it's really going to cost? Let's break it down. Bathroom remodel costs can vary a lot. Most of that variation comes down to three key factors: management, installation, and selections. Location also plays a major role. Here in Denver, Colorado, the median home price is around $600,000, which simply means that remodeling costs are often higher than the national average. And of course, size and selections do matter. Bigger bathrooms need more materials and more time, while higher end selections simply require more money upfront. The labor is fairly steady in Colorado, but the more complex your remodel, the higher that portion of your budget becomes. Selections are where you have the most control. If you love high-end finishes like Calcutta quartz tops, heated floors, custom tile work, you can expect that to reflect in your final cost. If you're selective and prioritize only what you really value, you can create a beautiful space without breaking the bank. So my goal is for this video to help break down the cost of a bathroom remodel in Denver, Colorado, and give you the guidance you need to make good decisions about your upcoming project. Let's talk a little bit about management. Your home could be your largest asset. It also is a large project that you're likely undertaking with a bathroom remodel. And in addition to that, what's your risk tolerance for what happens if it goes wrong? There are two ends of the spectrum, and there are several companies or many companies in the middle. For example, you could DIY the project yourself. However, you're gonna put everything on your shoulders. You're gonna risk all of that to come out with a product that maybe isn't quite as good as what you hoped. And then on the other side of that, where we come into play is full service, right? We're gonna handle everything from start to finish. Permitting, design, project management, installation, final closeout, and warranty. So just be sure you understand the differences there and where you want to sit on that spectrum so that you can find the remodeling company that fits you. There are two main forms of contract types in construction: a fixed fee contract and a cost plus contract. A fixed fee contract, also known as maybe lump sum. There's a couple variations of the term, but let's use fixed fee. It is a set price. This set price is typically listed at the bottom of a scope of work. What that means is this scope of work is going to be done for this price. There's not going to be any surprises. There's not going to be any, random fees, any service charges, nothing like that. A true fixed fee contract is exactly what it means. It is fixed. Fixed fee contractors are incentivized to have accurate details in the beginning so we can move through that project very, very efficiently. Northbuilt is a fixed fee contractor, and we really abide by that and dig into that model. The alternative method that I mentioned, cost plus. As you select things or as you pay for things or as your contractor pays for things, they will say, hey, here's the receipt, here's the invoice for that, and then here's our fee on top of it. Now, what I don't like about this model is it tends to lack a sense of urgency. So let's say your project takes longer. Those contractors are not incentivized to finish in a timely manner. So if it goes over, they're just gonna get paid more because they're gonna work more hours, they're gonna have more material, they're gonna have more labor invested. So that's something that I really don't love about a cost plus model. There are three main types of bathrooms. They all have slightly different names depending on what part of the country you're in. A powder bathroom, also known as a half bathroom, has two plumbing components. It's a sink and a toilet. They're usually situated near a gathering area, like off the kitchen, or maybe near an entrance, to the back patio or to the garage. Typically used by guests. The size of a powder bathroom can vary. Common sizes we often see are a 5x5. That's a pretty standard layout or a pretty standard configuration, roughly 25 square feet. Next, let's talk about a guest bathroom. This can be referred to as a hallway bathroom or sometimes called a full bathroom. They have three plumbing components: sink, toilet, and a shower, or the tub shower combo. Again, that is kind of referred to as the wet area, and that's what a full bathroom has. They're often located near bedrooms, in a hallway, in between bedrooms. They're used for guests or those who live in the house, full time. The particular layout is usually a 5x8. So 5 foot wide by 8 foot long accommodates, kind of that full bathroom layout. Lastly, the primary bathroom, often called a master bathroom or ensuite, tends to have 4 to 5 plumbing components. Usually we're gonna see a 5-piece primary bathroom. It'll have 2 sinks, a toilet, a shower, and a standalone tub. Whether that's a deck or freestanding, it'll be its separate unit. They're gonna be typically located either within the primary bedroom or very, very close to the primary bedroom. The size of a primary bathroom can be, you know, super large to the size of a full bathroom, and it just, where it's situated in the home kind of dictates who uses it and what it's for. For the sake of this video, let's assume it's a 10 by 12 or 10 foot by 12 foot, roughly 120 square feet. That's a good size primary bathroom and pretty common one that we see across the Denver metro. We can also remodel just the wet area. This is a term coined by kind of the one-day bathroom model, and it is essentially your shower or your tub shower area. This is a really great option if you want to phase a project, or for example, we've ran into this problem a lot where someone had a shower that started leaking. The rest of the bathroom was still in great shape, and we just needed to remodel the shower space itself. So something to consider if you're in that, you know, in that challenge or have that problem is just doing a wet area remodel, because that's a really good way to do kind of a partial remodel of a space that maybe just needs, that space needs attention currently and the rest of it is still in good shape. All right, now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's talk about pricing. So the first step in pricing is understanding what are our three variables again, right? We've got management, we've got installation, and we've got selections. Every single project, although similar in some instances, are going to be widely different across the board no matter what. With us and custom bathroom remodeling projects, what we do is we use kind of three groupings to help us determine where we sit on that spectrum. We call them Essential, Premier, and Luxe. And as you can assume, it's sort of a good, better, best scenario to give us that framework. First, let's talk about the Essential package. The layout remains the same. For the wet area, maybe we're going to use a fiberglass system or a panel system. We carry Centrel and we use those for this particular style. We're going to have a prefabricated vanity set. So it's going to come with a top and a sink and a cabinet all integrated, all ready to go and just be set against the wall. We're probably using LVP flooring instead of tile. We're going to have simple finishes, something that's readily available, easy to get, and again, kind of budget focused, such as Delta, American Standard, maybe Moen. We're gonna have a basic wall hung mirror, and we're gonna have very simple design and selection time frame, as well as a shower curtain instead of a shower glass. Next, we kind of have our better category, Premier. This is gonna be a semi-custom vanity set, probably gonna be an individual cabinet with a countertop on top of it. This is gonna be likely a group 4 to 6 countertop, probably a remnant piece. It's gonna have simple tile work, likely ceramic, maybe porcelain. It'll have a single piece toilet as an option. Typically, we're gonna update some lighting, maybe add some recess in different areas. We'll have standard plumbing fixtures, maybe Kohler or Brizo. We're also gonna have a standard design service included there to balance also budget, but assist you with, you know, curating a selection and a design for your bathroom that really fits what you want. In addition to that, maybe we'll do a recessed medicine cabinet for additional storage. We are gonna go to a framed glass enclosure to round that section out. Lastly, we have Luxe. This is the luxury option when it comes to bathroom remodeling. Some of the key differences here of what you can expect. We're gonna do a fully custom vanity set. This might be made by somebody here locally. It maybe is a high-end line from a manufacturer that we're gonna have shipped in. We're gonna probably go with more of an exotic countertop and solid surface selections. Think Cambria as a brand to have in mind there, really a wow factor. In addition to that, luxury tile. Maybe we're doing marble, maybe we have slate. Maybe we are setting it in an intricate pattern such as herringbone or a basket weave. We're also gonna move towards higher end fixture sets in both plumbing and electrical. So think champagne bronze for a finish. Maybe it's coming from Cal Faucets, Roll, or Toto. Some of those higher end manufacturers that really have some intricate designs and really pop when you come into a space. Additionally, we're probably gonna update lighting throughout. Likely gonna do a bidet toilet. A lot of popular things that we do in this category are gonna be a recessed medicine cabinet with lighting and power as well. In addition to that, we're gonna have upgraded storage solutions, maybe shelf inserts from RevoShelf to maximize functionality as well as storage. With these types of projects, there's gonna be additional management, installation, and design services provided. That's gonna be highly tailored to the upper end of this remodel style. Some additional options don't necessarily fit into any particular package or bucket are gonna be backlit mirrors, heated floors, curbless showers, steam showers, and some of the health and wellness features that are out there. Something to remember with these options is they're pretty much available for any type of bathroom project, and they can just be added on. Let's talk about permitting. There are a variety of nuances to the permitting process, but I'll leave you with two main guidelines. If you adjust the layout you'll need a permit. The cost of the permit and management fee to conduct those inspections usually are 2.5% to 5% of your total project price. And things that directly impact that price is going to be the jurisdiction that your home is located in and the overall price of your project. So in general, what we try to do is give a good range of where these costs sit for each project type. So now that we've defined those three kind of packages or buckets, the next step is to use the rubric that we've developed to kind of align, what you want from a selection perspective with the budget that you're willing to commit or the investment that you're going to put into your home. And hopefully this will help you kind of understand where that sits on the spectrum so you can make good decisions as far as what you want to do in your remodel. Let's look at the pricing breakdown for a bathroom remodel project. As you can see, there are several categories in this breakdown. One thing to remember is there's going to be variable costs, which are things that you can control by what you select and by the design you choose. A key thing here being finishes and plumbing. Those are going to be some larger buckets in a bathroom remodel project where you have some control over, what you want to spend and how it moves the needle. A bathroom project is going to be very plumbing heavy. If you pick a high-end fixture, it might move that percentage up. It may not move the whole total up, but it's going to move the percentage up. Likewise, if you choose a prefabricated vanity, the cabinetry and countertop may move down slightly. And then lastly, finishes: drywall, paint, flooring, tile. Tile is a big one. That is where a large portion of a remodel project comes into play. There are also going to be fixed costs that kind of come with your contractor or your team as what they are going to have to do to get the project done. So keep that in mind, that some costs are going to be variable and be well within your control. Some costs are going to be very fixed and they're going to be part of the overall price. Let's break down the pricing for a wet area. The wet area essential package, a good budget range is going to be about $12,000. That's going to get us maybe a simple tub, maybe a fiberglass tub, or a standard kind of shower base. We're going to have a new fixture, probably a Delta line fixture, and then we're going to go in with some sort of a panel system, maybe a fiberglass panel system or an acrylic or something along those lines. Next, we're going to go to Premier. We're at about a $15,000 budget. The difference here is we're maybe going to do a slightly upgraded fixture set and maybe do a nicer tub, and it could potentially do one of the higher end panel systems, right? We're probably not going to be able to get into tile at that budget range. Once we get into the luxe package of the wet area remodel, a good budget to start with is going to be around $17,000. That's where we're going to start to talk about tile. With tile, a main driver of cost there is going to be installation, right? We're going to have to take the time to install it. It takes just longer than some of those other options that we mentioned earlier, and that is a key driver for the price on this particular remodel. Next, let's talk about our powder bathrooms. Again, we're going to assume that the size is roughly 5 by 5, 25 square feet. When we look at our essential package, a good budget range for that is right around $10,000. From a management and design perspective, we're maybe going to expedite some selections. Maybe you've already got some choices figured out, and that helps us move through purchasing into installation of those selections. Install, we consider maybe a prefabricated vanity, maybe a simple pull and replace light fixture, and the whole thing is updated relatively easily and quickly. Once we get into the Premier tier, a good budget to start with is going to be $15,000. Now maybe we're looking at ceramic tile flooring. From a management and design perspective, we're probably going to put a little more effort into there and provide a little more design service to make sure we really curate the space to kind of fit the style and the vision that you have. For the powder bathroom and the luxe package, a good budget to start with is going to be $20,000. Luxe package, we're getting into fully curated design. Our management services are going to be a lot more hands-on. There's probably going to be some more intricate details. Maybe with the tile flooring, we're doing an intricate pattern. Potentially we have a tile accent wall or a border. Maybe we're installing some wallpaper or some wainscoting or some really fun features that really elevate the design and elevate the feel of your powder bathroom. One thing to remember, powder bathrooms can be a statement piece for your home, and they're one of the primary features in your house that a guest is going to interact with. It's very personal. So spending money on these spaces, I think, is well worth it and can be really enjoyable for you and your guests. Now let's go into the guest bathroom. Again, as a reminder, we're going to talk about the 5 by 8 3 plumbing component configuration. So really standard all across America. You see it in all sorts of homes everywhere. On the essential package, we're going to keep things really, really simple here. A good budget to start with is going to be $20,000. From a management and design perspective, it's probably gonna be a pull and replace. We're not moving anything, we're not changing anything. It's literally just saying, hey, let's refresh this space. Maybe we've got some water damage, let's get it out of there, let's put new stuff in there. From a installation perspective and a selections perspective, we're probably gonna keep things pretty budget friendly. Probably gonna do LVP flooring, simple fixtures and finishes, common colors, common selections that are readily available. Again, with the focus on maintaining a budget, but getting a really good, clean, updated space. As we move into Premier, we're gonna upgrade all of that slightly into that next column. A good budget to start with is gonna be $35,000. From a design and management perspective, we're gonna put a lot more energy and effort in there. We're gonna make sure the space is curated to your liking and really bring a vision to life here. We're probably not gonna relocate anything. Again, any guest bathroom space, there are some options to do certain things, but for the most part, it is gonna be a pull and replace or a very similar adjustment with maybe some minor configurations there, maybe going from a tub shower into just a shower combo. In addition to that, we're probably gonna be a little heavier on tile. Gonna put tile on the floor, probably tile in the shower area. We're also gonna put glass. Glass is a huge focal point in a guest bathroom. Same thing like we talked about in the powder bathroom, right? You've got that wow factor. You walk into it, you can see through the glass, you can see the tile on the back. Maybe it's got a big niche in the back wall that really elevates that space. Lastly, for our guest bathroom remodels, we've got the luxe category. A good budget to start with is gonna be $50,000. This is the bee's knees. This is the top of the top. This is the most fun. Think of this as heated floors. Maybe we've got backlit mirrors. We've got exotic countertops. One thing that we've done in the past for a guest bathroom remodel, we've done solid surface countertops in the entire shower. This is a great look, super seamless, no cleaning, no grout joints, really elegant. And that kind of rounds out those budget options or those budget tiers for a guest bathroom remodel. I think you really got to understand who's going to use it, what are they going to use it for, and what is the frequency. For example, maybe you have a couple small kids. We might want to really focus on updating the space, clean, efficient, safe, and really easy to maintain. On the flip side of that, if we want it to be a statement piece in a bathroom that gets used by guests, or maybe it's actually something that we use fairly often as like the primary user or the homeowner, maybe we want to shift that up to be something that's really more elegant and fits what we want for our lifestyle and just for our everyday use. Lastly, let's talk about the focal point, primary bathrooms. When we think of a primary bathroom, again, let's frame our mind to be 10 by 12, 120 square feet, 5 plumbing components, right? 2 sinks, a toilet, a standalone freestanding or a deck mounted tub, and then a shower area. For a primary bathroom and the essential package, a good budget to start with is going to be $50,000. So when we think of the essential package for a primary bathroom, think of freshening the space, right? Maybe it's an older home, hasn't been touched in several years. We just want to bring it up to the new era. We want to upgrade everything. Layout's going to stay the same, simple finishes, simple fixtures, management and design is going to be relatively easy, and we're going to freshen everything up. So LVP flooring, like I say, basic finishes and fixtures, maybe a prefabricated vanity with top and integrated sinks. Toilet's going to be simple, probably a 2-piece, floor mounted toilet, really brighten up and liven up that space. As we move into Premier, a good budget to start with is going to be $75,000. We're going to put a little more attention, a little more focus into design. We're going to really curate that. We are going to move away from LVP flooring, probably go into tile flooring, probably upgrade into sort of a tile shower surround, maybe make things a little bit larger. Likely not rearranging layout too much. Again, at that price point, at that budget range, we kind of got to keep a layout similar to what we had in the past. Probably going to go with a semi-custom vanity set with a countertop and selected sinks, and then all the other finishes and fixtures to round that out. Lastly, luxe. A good budget to start with is going to be $100,000. This, again, top of the line. This is where the fun happens. Everything's custom. Maybe we're going to add some of those options we talked about earlier. Curbless entries are becoming super popular. We're probably going to do a curbless entry into our shower bay. Maybe modify the layout slightly. Maybe we're gonna move into a closet space, or we're gonna move out into the primary bedroom. Make that space a little larger and just give us a little more room in there to kind of put in all of our new finishes and fixtures. Primary bathrooms, they are a focal point of a home. I really push hard on putting some time, energy, and investment into a primary bathroom remodel. It's gonna retain value. People are looking for updated primary bathrooms on resale, and you're also gonna use it multiple times a day. And when looking into remodeling them, they should get the attention they deserve. So now you can see, we've completed our chart, we've got our project types on the left and our selections above the top for Essential, Premier, and Luxe. Again, keep in mind, these are a starting point. Your project may be slightly more, slightly less, but this is a great visual representation of where your project might sit for your next remodel cost. Every bathroom remodel is different, right? As we've been talking, the cost depends not only on square footages, but also on layout, selections, and the amount of tile that you've got going into the space. Whether you want some of the stress and the commitment to be on your shoulders, or you want to offload that onto a really qualified team, every remodeling project is unique. We recommend talking to a professional about what your project might entail and what that might look like. If you've got an upcoming bathroom remodel project that you want to talk about, feel free to head over to our website, fill out a form, and our team will get back to you and we can chat about it.